Over the years, I've watched as Glock, which used to be the most premier brand in the United States in terms of handguns, has slowly become a little bit of a meme inside the American gun community. And there's a couple reasons for that. I think in the 80s and 90s, what Glock was providing for the money was a really reliable, really durable, and really fantastic firearm made of these new gun polymers that were affordable for new shooters alike. Nowadays, I think when we start to compare Glock to some of the other offerings that are out there in the world, there's other gun companies that make similar products that actually outperform Glock, in my humble opinion, for less money. But also, I feel like the more you sit down and really examine what made Glock popular, you realize they were always a little creatively bankrupt from the start. Come to think of it, there's not a single thing that Glock has ever invented that was unique to their own brand. Striker fire designs they stole from Mauser. They stole the 40 caliber Smith & Wesson design straight from Smith & Wesson. They stole the tilting Browning barrel system and the lockback system that you get on an empty magazine from Browning. They stole HK's rifling style, and they also stole the high-capacity magazines that they got from both the Beretta and the Browning High Power. I think at the end of the day, when you really sit down and look at what Glock did, all they really did was learn how to make a new minimum viable product, or MVP. Essentially, Glock was able to answer the question, what's the least amount of money and time that we can put into a firearm and still make it considered a reliable firearm? And obviously, like all standards, everybody's going to have different standards. But for most military and law enforcement, Glock was the premier standard for what it took to get the job done. So a lot of those frills, the safeties, the frame-mounted safeties, the grip safeties, all of those were removed in order to have a more sleek and easy-to-design gun that you can massively pump out and put in the hands of fresh conscripts or new recruits and have them to get up online in a firing line with as few malfunctions and iterations and failure to fire as possible. Over time, I think if you're actually someone who's trying to push the boundaries of what's possible with the firearm, you start to have a gravitation towards more high-performance firearms that get you shorter splits. That's where you end up in like the custom 2011 world. And I feel like for other firearms, if you're still just trying to get the most bare minimum, no frills kind of firearm, I think $700 on a Glock gets you way less features than $700 on, say, a Canic or even an FN. Anyways, thanks for listening to me talk, and do you guys still carry any Glocks? And if so, which gen, which calibers? Which ones are worth getting, and why? I'd love to hear more from you. Thanks so much, and thanks for listening to me.